Hello and welcome to another edition of the NRS Insights podcast. I'm John Lovestock, and today I'm once again joined by Brandon Thurber, who is the Vice President of Data Sales and Client Success at NRS, which is National Retail Solutions. And today we will be discussing the NRS Insights Retail Same-Store Sales Report for June of 2025. And June was a pretty strong month. Same-store sales increased 3.5% year over year. And versus the previous month of May of 2025, same-store sales increased about 4.9% year over year. And for the 3 months ending June 30th, same-store sales increased 4.6% compared to the corresponding 3 months a year ago. And I also want to mention units sold also increased 3% and are up 3%, 3.6% year over year, which, and I'll tee you up for this one, Brandon, which I'm assuming is a good sign that these gains are hard gains and not being driven kind of by inflationary costs or tax increases. So as of, oh, wait, hang on, one more. As of June 30th, the NRS retail network comprised 36,600 active terminals. So that number keeps going up. And they scan purchases at more than 31,700 independent retailers, including convenience stores, bodegas, liquor stores, and grocers. There. Now I stole your thunder, Brandon, but how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So, on the was I right on the unit sold thing? I took a little bit of leap there.
Yeah, no, very good. We've done enough of these now that you could do a solo show every now and then. But no, spot on. Interestingly enough, inflation is not driving. There's not as many price increases at retail. You hear of a category here and there, but that's really not what's driving as much of the growth. Transactions are flat, which is okay. Of course, they would like them to be better, but when you hear in the news that large gas station chains or convenience chains have trips that are down 5, 6, 7% to be flat is pretty interesting. It speaks to independent retail, the consumer, and what their purchases are.
Said it for many, many years. The independent stores and these inner city stores are kind of the backbone of the industry. They keep America flowing every day, which is great. Now,
Yeah.
on the category side, it looks like the categories that we seem to talk about every month just because they do well and they are so important to the stores. They have continued to show strong signs, right? The modern oral nicotine, prepared cocktails, chocolates, etc. Those all continue to do well.
Yeah, I think the modern oral nicotine has brought life to the back wall of the convenience store. It is now a destination purchase, but additionally, folks are there for multiple trips, and they're purchasing maybe that product and a soft drink and a energy drink, which is good to see, good for business. And you hit on the prepared cocktails. That category just continues to thrive. Uh, uh, Over last year, we're up almost 25% month over month, or June versus the previous year. And I remember doing this last year saying it's up 40%. So the gains that category has seen is pretty impressive.
So we were talking about in a previous conversation, you and I, about hockey, and not that I want to start. I won't try not to name too many brands, but these kids, and by kids I mean the guys in their 30s and 40s. That's just how old I am. Show up on the bench with a zin, a pouch, a zin, and an energy drink. It's like these 30. That's their go-to. Like I'm going for pretzels and a bottle of water. They're going for the zin and the Celsius. The
So that's interesting because we just had a finding. So energy drinks are back on the rise. Last year they were just slightly down. In 2025, we see them up. They were up almost 10% in June compared to last year. And one of the most fascinating things about this category is millennials, that age group that you just described, are contributing more to energy drinks this year than last year, and that's the biggest shift
Interesting.
in that category's consumer behavior. And I think that has to uh, definitely attribute to kind of the more functional, if that is such a thing, if you believe in functional energy drinks,
Hmm.
those brands gaining popularity have maybe shifted that older consumer back into the category, and the results speak for themselves.
Sure. And how about kind of in mass, more people getting back into the office, more people having to get up early in the morning, get dressed, go to work, work a full day. We had a lot of work from home for many years, and let's face it, you didn't need as much energy when you're just rolling out of bed and going to the coffee table.
For sure, yeah, and that helps trips, that helps sales, everything.
Now let's talk. You mentioned the energy drinks, but sports drinks, bottled water, and frozen novelties. And I mentioned those three because you kind of called them out in your story. Um, June is kind of an awkward month, right? School's ending, everyone graduations, a frenetic pace. So maybe sales were down, but what is your outlook on those three specifically?
Yeah, so we saw spikes in temperature in June. So month over month, you always see a bump of those categories: the sports drinks, the frozen novelties. Folks, want to indulge in that, in the novelty side, or they need to hydrate. I'll tackle the hydration thing first. We are seeing some hydration alternatives enter the market, and consumers adopting those things like coconut water. More consumers are, if they're going to purchase a bottle of water in a convenience store, they're actually leveling up to the value add waters, that have other functional benefits to them, which is interesting to see. I think the thirst is still there, for lack of a better term, right? Like when it's 90 degrees out, you need to grab a drink, and then the frozen novelty, I think, falls into that indulgent food category that we see with candy, and we see with the sweet snacks and salty snacks, right? Those categories, while there is still a consumer need, they are facing a headwind. Call it the GLP-1 phenomenon, call it people wanting to be watch more about what they're consuming. I'm not exactly sure, but it is definitely across those types of categories.
Okay, interesting. Because there is, again, wow, I'm mentioning brands all day. There is nothing better than that frozen Snickers. I don't know if you've ever had it. It is
It's one of the top sellers in convenience. That's for sure.
with good reason. It is outstanding. All right. So getting away from the categories and getting back to nicotine, modern oral. It's not a podcast unless I put you on the spot. Cigarettes. I'm telling you, I see more people smoking now than ever. Is what do your numbers show you if you're tracking that?
Yeah, pretty. So if we go back 10 years, right, there was everybody in the industry knew there was a 3% decline for years and years and years.
Hmm.
And we are seeing that hold about flat. So dollar sales are up about 3%. Unit sales are almost flat. Now, the way that mix kind of comes about, we do see a little bit of a shift out of premium to more of a discount brand.
Yep.
For It's incredibly interesting that in our network, the basket size has been right around 14.50 for a very long time. So sure, it might go up 10 cents, it might go up a quarter. But I think CPG should kind of keep that into perspective. The average consumer is in our store 4 times a week. That's a verified audited number.
Great
And
number.
they're on average spending 14-ish dollars. So as things increase, as price increases, the the consumer with that trip is not going to go from 14 to 18. It's just not going to happen. So they creatively or maybe subconsciously stay right around that dollar amount. So if it's swapping out a premium product for a discount product, or buying slightly less of something, or that happens.
Okay, so that naturally leads to vape, and with vape, did you see the news about Juul? So it looks like Juul will be re-entering the category. Um, and are they considered vape? Or are they considered e? I mean, I'm not even sure of these breakdowns anymore, vape versus e-cigs, and you could probably fill me
Yeah.
in on that.
Great news for them, right? They did made headlines that they did receive their authorization and they can begin, going after um, growth in that regard, which I think is for that brand great. I think it should be done responsibly, right? That we should limit the minor consumption of that. But if it's done responsibly, then no better place than independent convenience for that kind of those sales and that traffic.
Okay, so great. Um, we are kind of late in the month here, so you're probably already turning your attention to July. But are there any early indicators that emerging trends, anything you're seeing worth mentioning?
Always interesting to look around holidays, Fourth of July, and where it falls actually has an impact on year-over-year sales. If people are taking a long weekend, or it seems that like if Fourth of July is in the middle of the week and people have to work before or after, it actually reduces the celebration, which is interesting. But in the Northeast here, and I think across the country, it has been relatively hot. So that typically is good for beverage, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And chocolate it continues to have a strong year. So those are some things that we're taking a look at. Road trips, those sorts of things.
Mhm.
Families tend to get a couple of drinks, get a couple of snacks, and we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, I think in nationwide we have been, as my friend in Boston told me yesterday, it's a scorcher. It has been just hot. Even today, it's already 90 something degrees. So,
Great for pool season, that's for sure.
and beer and bottled water. So good. All
Right.
right. So, Brandon, again, tell us where we can find this report.
Yeah, it's published through our parent company, which is IDT.net. You can set your Google alerts or look for the NRS same store sales report. It comes out on a monthly basis.
Great. So for Brandon, I'm John Lovestock. We want to thank you guys for tuning in again, and we look forward to having you next month when we discuss, excuse me, the July same store sales report. Have a good afternoon, everyone.